It is that time of the year again. It is 1 a.m. on January 1st, 2022. It's a time of the year when most people try to better themselves and come up with goals for themselves in the coming year. I, as a normal person, have come up with a lot of those goals for myself, one of which being professional development. I'm hoping to get better at coding and working with electronics, like, understanding the mathematics behind it. So those two things, I'm hoping to kind of use those to leverage myself into a better career position. So that's my first kind of larger 2022 resolution. My second resolution to myself is to continue my last year's resolution to read every night. I wasn't successful every single night of this last year, but I was successful for most of it. And I like the improvements that I saw in myself in terms of like development and my sense of self with that goal. So I think that was a good goal. As far as other stuff, I really don't have anything specific. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to kind of turn the question around to my watchers, my viewers. Do you have any New Year's resolutions? Do you think that the New Year's resolution thing is stupid? Do you think that it's great? Have you ever stuck to your New Year's resolutions? I know that my last video was kind of the same topic, but I kind of wanted to reiterate it and kind of like make it the specific topic of a video, because I think that for a lot of people, 2021 was not a great year. It wasn't a great year for me. It started out all right, but like halfway through, it just kind of fell flat, which sort of sucked. And I think for a lot of people, it was like that. And there's the whole Great Resignation thing going on. And I think it's a very topical thing, because there is like this whole like societally viewed chance to improve ourselves and like change things. So perhaps that could be a good springboard for others to voice how they feel about the whole change thing. Let me think. There's something else I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, what I've been doing. Yeah. So the last few days I've been kind of working a lot more on programming in C++ rather than my electronic stuff. So I guess I haven't really like expounded on this a whole lot, but I'm kind of teaching myself a lot of stuff because I have a lot of time. I'm kind of like, at a place in my life where I have a lot of time and not a lot of money. So I'm kind of using the money that I have to invest in self-development. So part of that is coding, and part of that is learning electronics related things. So I've got a bunch of books and I'm working through them, and I'm also kind of learning things as I go. So at the moment I'm working on a C++ project. I just kind of like had the idea for it today. So I have this like kind of internal part number system that I kind of, stole I stole the idea for from someone else, but it's, like a catalog of parts that basically I'm looking to make some infrastructure to make that a little bit like that file system a little bit better. So I'm writing some code in order to process that information and put it into the kind of documentation that I want. And also I'm working on a few other electronics related things, but that's like the main thing I was working on today. I'm also working on a 6502 based project that I talked about in the other video. I'm working on something called a pulse width modulated voltage controlled oscillator circuit, which sounds like total Greek, and I promise it's much simpler than that. Basically what it does is it uses something called pulse width modulation to control how bright a light is. I've been really lazy on that. Another thing I've been working on is a microcontroller controlled digital clock. And that's kind of like a passion project because I know that you can get a digital clock anywhere super cheap, and they're supposedly like really easy to make, but I've never made a clock. So I am making a digital clock. It's really interesting. I'm using something called I2C or IIC protocol, which is basically like a data transfer type thing that allows a chip to communicate with a microcontroller to use time data. Anyways, those are some of my current projects that are going on into 2022. I totally digressed. So I do want to kind of pull things back in and again, voice my question. What are your resolutions? Do you think that the New Year's resolution thing is a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Why? And how did you do on your goals for 2021? Anyways, I hope that this video finds you well wherever you are, and whether it's morning, evening, or night, I hope you have a good one and a lovely new year.